Hi, Dilip. Hi, Anna. Can you hear me? Hi, Dilip. Hi, Anna. Hi, Dilip. Unmute your mic and speak. Respond.
Hi, sir.
Dilip, just give me 3 minutes because other people are also joining. We'll start the class in 3 4 minutes. Okay. Amanand, have you practiced yesterday voice installation?
Sir, yes, sir. Getting.
Voice installation have done.
Sir, actually not done.
Okay.
We will check once again and we'll proceed, sir.
Okay. No
After
problem.
getting complete.
Okay. Yesterday, but you understand the installation, no? Yesterday, which I showed you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. No problem. Just give me 2 3 minutes. Other people are also joining. So then we'll start the class.
Sure. Sure.
Sir, yesterday I have, tried
Tell
to
me, Dilip.
install CLI.
CLI mode. Okay.
So actually, I did not get any option for that.
No option. Whenever you are starting the screen, it is showing you. I will install CentOS 7. That screen comes na starting screen. You remember starting screen.
Yeah, through I
There
press a
you have
tab.
to give. There you have to give escape. Then it will show
Okay.
you. There you have to show. If you have any doubt, now I also told you. If you have any doubt, you can use Google. Just Google it like this. How to
Yeah,
install CentOS 7 in CLI mode. Just you give the CLI mode or character or text mode, like this you can say. That
yeah.
options will be given. That way.
I got
Only
a
boot the
solution like
operating. Tell me.
like pressing tab and enter
Uh,
the command text.
Perfect.
So
Press the
so
tab
I
and yes.
so I have done that. Actually, the GUI is coming again.
No man, it will not come. Okay, we will see it later. Anyway, you got to know Geo installation, because now I
Yeah,
can't show you that the CLI installation because I have to proceed with the other topics in the class. If
yeah.
possible, in the future, anytime we are getting free time, I'll show you. Okay,
I mean,
but
if
you
you
can
have
use.
any link,
Uh,
so you can
Tell me.
share me.
No sharing. Since I am having this thing, the GUI installation, I can show you. CLI
No
installation,
link.
I can also. Okay. Okay, Amanna, we are starting the class, Dilip. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Please mute yourself. So yesterday we saw the installation of Linux operating system, that to CentOS 7 server operating system. This is our virtual machine. This is our virtual machine node where we have installed in VMware Workstation. We have installed name we have given is CentOS 7 64-bit 8 PM because this is our 8 PM batch. So now I am starting our virtual machine. That is, I am booting my Linux operating system for the first time. See here what happens after the installation, first time booting. Okay, see this. So it is asking me two kernels here. I told you there will be two kernels by default. First kernel which has been selected here is a normal kernel where the operating system boots. Second is called the rescue kernel. In case there is a operating system crash, you are not able to access the original kernel, which is the top one. Then you have to go to second option and select. Okay. But now we are everything is fine, so I am selecting the first option, which is Linux Center. And one more thing, in institute, in your any job interview, if you go, if you are a fresher kind of thing, you are applying, they will ask you what server you are using. You will say CentOS 7 Linux server, sir. What type of kernel? What is the kernel version? They'll ask. Okay, they can ask the question. What is the current kernel version you are using in the system? You have to tell 3.10. 3.10 or 310 kernel you have to take. Okay, remember kernel is very much important. In Windows, kernel, though nobody speaks about kernel, only Windows is a version based. Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 10. But Linux, though it is a software in the name of CentOS RHL, but kernel is very prominent. Okay, I'm pressing Enter C. Now the system is booting. See, now the big background services are being started. Yesterday we installed 2060 packages. Remember, while installing the operating system, these are the different services which have been installed from those packages. We have selected now during installation of operating system, GUI server with GUI option. We have taken installation of operating system. So when you install those packages, these are the default services coming. Okay, they are all saying, see, okay, started, okay, started. These are the different services required for our operating system to perform. Okay, depending on your hardware, means your system, laptop or desktop, wherever you are installing, how much RAM is there, what is the CPU type, the time takes to boot will change. Okay, sometime it will be slow, sometime it will be fast, depending on your system resources, means how better your system is. If it is high speed system, then you get better performance, you can boot fast. If your system is low on RAM, it is on less on processor, other things, it will boot as slowly. And we are now booting in GUI mode. Okay, we are booting in GUI mode. But in servers, real-time servers, they will always boot in CLI mode only. They will not give GUI access to anybody because GUI takes more resources. Okay, and there are other things like security issues will be there if it is GUI. So always they will boot our servers in real time. Any server will be in CLI only. GUI access not given. Here in our system, we are having all the access. So we are actually booting the server in GUI mode. Okay, see here. Now it is showing me not listed and Rajesh G. This is the user which we have actually created when the installation of operating system, we created this user. But I don't want to log in as a normal user. So I want to log in as an admin to this user. And admin is not mentioned here because it is showing only Rajesh G. Admin should, if it is not mentioned, select not listed option here. Then it will ask for the username. Here you have to give root. Remember, what is the purpose of root? Administrator in Linux is called root by default. And the password, which you have given during the installation of operating system. And press sign in. Just give me a minute. There is some problem. Now we are logging as a root user, admin user into CentOS 7 server. Just give me a minute. There is some problem. See, now we are logged into Linux operating system, server operating system in GUI mode. So this is how the desktop screen looks if you are selecting GUI option. Okay, I will let you know how many different GUI options are there. This is called a Genome desktop, and there is one more desktop called KDE desktop. I will let you know. Okay, what is the meaning of this? How to actually select those desktops and all. For time being, just remember this is how you are logging. Now we have logged in into our system. Now first thing is we will check how to set host name and enable internet, enable network, not internet, enable network. First, in order Linux to work, we have to actually open a terminal. How to open a terminal? Because we wanted to give some command. You can't give the command directly here because this is a CLI kind of thing. So you have to press right click, select open terminal. This is the option you have to select. Then a terminal opens. Okay. And I already showed you while using the find command example yesterday or day before yesterday. What is this command prompt? This is called command prompt. This is called terminal. This whole screen is called terminal. This is called command prompt. This is called the primary command prompt or PS1 prompt. Okay. So now we got to know. Now we open the. First, we have to set up the system. First thing, before installing any applications or using anything, first we have to set host name and all the things. So by default, host name shown here is localhost.local domain. I have made a note of these things here. I wanted to show you. Just give me a second. Now I will show you how to set up host name, how to set up IP address, and how to set up host name to IP address mapping. These three, if they are set and running, your system is run. It can be used for it further deployment. Okay, everybody is getting. Any doubts you can raise? See, these are the things we have to check. See, I am showing you how to set up the things. This is the thing, how to set up. I have made a small note of the thing. As you can see here, okay, see here. Now I made a note. These steps to be followed to set up the CentOS server immediately after the installation. First installation होने के बाद or after the installation, how to set up the host name for the thing. There are 2-3 methods to set the host name here. No, here. There are 2-3 methods where you can set the host name. First thing, you can set up the host name in 3 ways, which I have mentioned here. First is using hostnamectl command. Second format is edit the hostname file, etc hostname file using a VI editor manually. Third is using nmtui command, which stands for Network Manager Text User Interface. Now we will set the hostname. See here. See, current host name, if you want to check what is the host name of the system, what is the meaning of host name? Host name is just a tag given to the system. Just like you have a name like Dilip, Amarnath, Rajesh, same way, here the system also requires some host name to be set, okay, for it to work. So, how to set the host name? I will show you the one format. Host name can be set manually if you are actually editing the host name file. There is a one more command to check the host name. CTL is also a command to check the host name. This command shows static host name, which is also set to local domain. What is the computer name, other things, virtualization, what is the system name, which server it is, what type of server, that is all given here. Okay, we got. Now we am going to let you know how to set the host name manually. HOSTNAME. This is the command. This is the place where we can set the host name. Edit it using VIM command. VIM stands for virtual. It is a editor. It is just like a notepad in Windows. VIM is a visual improved editor. It is a kind of editor, text editor in Linux, equivalent to notepad in Windows. I am opening the hostname file in etc hostname file in text editor, which is using VIM. Here when I open, we are seeing these things. Okay, I am actually deleting this. First thing will be localhost local domain. Delete this using DD, then press N in I. You are going to insert mode. In insert mode, you can actually enter. What should I set? Any. What is the name you can set? Amarnath, you want any specific name? Dilip, you want any specific name? Tell me. For this system, you can suggest any name.
Shadowfax.
What is?
Shadowfax.
Shadowfax. What is that? I'm not getting them.
Shadowfax. SHADOWFAX.
You want it like that? Okay,
Yeah.
I will set it. But here, whenever you set, you can't set a single name to it. It should be a fully qualified domain name. Okay, you will know what is the meaning this fully qualified domain name later in the classes. But system should be set like this. Okay, for this we will set like this. But we will set is a fully qualified domain name. See here, we can set server 5 durgasoft.com. Okay, why I'm setting this instead of I can just give only server 5, then also it will work. But always it is suggested you have to give domain name also. So this is how we set. Always the server name should be set fully. Like if it is just Dilip, there may be many Dilips, and with Dilip K, only one Dilip is there. Like Amarnath, many Amarnath will be there in India, but Amarnath Chittiprolu will only be one. So fully name, fully qualified domain name, which totally and finally identifies you. So that way you have to give. So fully qualified domain name will with this is the server name. This is the durgasoft.com is the domain name. So both the server name and domain name should be mixed and given. Okay, like Amarnath Chittiprolu is the full name, where Chittiprolu is your surname and Amarnath is your name. This is the fully qualified domain name. So this way we have to give fully qualified domain names only. Okay, if it even work, it will even work by default. It will even work if you give only this thing. It will take, but while configuring different applications like DNS, DHCP, there will be problem. Okay, so I'd always give fully qualified domain name. This is how you give. I am giving this the system as server 5 durgasoft.com, and I am now quitting, saving and quitting. WQ escape, WQ, just press escape, colon, WQ, enter. Now it is set. Okay, now host name. Now we will even set, we have set the host name, we will now set the IP address. We will enable the network services. Networking, because without networking, other people cannot access our system. This will become a standalone. Because I told you when installing the operating system yesterday, I wanted to show you how to set the host name and how to set the network or enable the network manually. Now we have set the host name, we will now set etc. This is the location where the network configuration files will be there. This is the location. enter. Don't worry, what is the cd command, everything will come just now, 5-10 minutes. If you finish the installation and setup, then we will see the command. Okay, just for time being, cd command is a change directory command to jump from one directory to another. Okay, ls. Here you can see ls means the listing command, where we will list all the files and directories in the current directory. pwd is the location, present working directory. pwd is a command to check where I am currently located in my system or server. So here we are having first file is cfg, this file. First file, this file we have to edit it. Okay, ens like this, enter. Okay, so here we have given, see in this configuration file of ECFG, it is given on boot. We can see here on boot is given no, means on booting, during booting time, don't enable this network or network ID, network card or this. So on boot you have to give yes. Change this on boot is equal to yes. Okay. After that, you can even give here the boot protocol is DHCP. There is a, what is the DHCP? DHCP stands for dynamic host configuration, where the IP of the system is generated by the DHCP server and assigned to the system. So we can actually use DHCP. Otherwise, we can also use as none, and we can actually give your IP address like this: ADDR is equal to 192. I am giving all the IP addresses manually. 74.155. Okay. Prefix is 1x. Prefix is equal to, like this you have to give 24. I'm giving us 24. Next, gateway we can give. Gateway is a router IP address. Router. Okay, 192.168.74.2. I'm giving the gateway. These are the default settings which I am actually using to configure my server here. Okay, if you are not interested in giving this IP address, prefix, gateway manually, what you do is just to change this on boot is equal to yes option, and here instead of the boot protocol none, it was DHCP. Just save this file and run systemctl restart network. So this is the thing. Gateway I have given, prefix I have given. Okay, DNS also I am giving. DNS1 is equal to 192.168.74.2. Okay, this is the things we have to give: IP address, gateway, DNS, and prefix. Okay, now we have changed all the things details. Now save and exit. How to save and exit from editor? Press escape. After entering everything, press escape. Type :W, Q, and enter, which means save and quit. W means save, Q and quit, save and quit. Now we have made the changes. Now we will check the IP address is working or not, like this. To check the IP address or network is enabled or not, we have to check using ifconfig command. Ifconfig is like ipconfig in Windows. It is used to check the network IP addresses. If you check, you can see that there is no IP address. This is the network card. This is the network card name ENS33, and there is no IP address set here because we have to reset the IP address manually in the file. In order that to work, we have to enable the service of the network. This is how to restart. Network dot service. This is how to restart the service. Don't be, what is this systemctl? Why I'm doing this restart something? Don't get confused. This will come when we are doing our networking topics in Linux administration course. Okay, but just time being, remember this. Now see, ifconfig, we got the IP address set here. See, previously it was not showing any IP address. Now we got the IP address. Okay, so our system IP address is set to 192.168.74.155. Okay, now network is enabled, and you can see here one more LAN symbol has appeared here. See here. Previously it was not there. Beside that time, here. This is the LAN card that is enabled because we have enabled the services. Okay, now we got to enable the service. We have set the IP address to the system. Now we have to edit a third file, which is called host file. Okay, this is the file we have to edit. There we give IP address to host name mapping. Where IP address to host name. Remain the first line should remain the same. Delete the second line totally. Go to insert mode by pressing I. Go to the last and press enter. Now here like this you have to do. 74,155 I think, na? What I give? Okay, 155 give. Okay. Okay, 155. After that, space, tab space, there, server. What is the host name we have given to this? server5.durgasoft.com. Okay. And after that, we will give S5. This is a short name or alias name. That also we can give here. Okay, server5.durgasoft.com. Save and quit this. Now we have made all the changes. These things which I mentioned here, this is the same thing what I showed you. How to set IP addresses, how to set host name, how to set later I showed you also how to enable our network interface, which is ENS33 here. So now everything is set. Now exit this. Okay. Now see host name will be set now. It will show the host name. Host name is showing the same thing, VM/etc host name. Any mistake we have done? server5.durgasoft.com. Perfect. System CTL restart network. Okay. Now, because now we have changed the host name, better thing is that you just log off and log in. Log off and log in for the host to host. Just root, log off, on login. Because we have changed the host name and we have even set the IP address to host name mapping, you just log off and log in. Dilip, Amarnath, are you getting what I'm saying? Any confusion? Any doubt?
Yes, sir, I'm getting. But
Okay. Tell me.
In servers, the GUI will not be right. I mean, VM editors will be not be right. I mean,
what VIM will be there, man. Don't worry. But the property of VIM is the good thing we can the VIM is it can be working in GUI mode also. Same thing works in CLI mode also. Okay. Dilip.
okay.
VIM works. I'll show
sir.
you now. I'm going to show you how to see that in CLI mode and all that. I'm going to show you now. Just wait 5 minutes. It will come. Amarnath, it will come. Wait. Amarnath, any doubt?
Sir. No, sir.
Tell me. No, sir. Okay. Now we have logged off and again logging inside so that the host name and other things will set. No need to do this log off and log in. Most of the time it does automatically only when you restart the network or network service. See here. Now we logged off and logged in. Shall we check the host name is set or not? See. When I open the terminal, right click, open the terminal, it will show the host name by directly. Last time it was showing localhost.local domain. Now see server 5. Last time it was showing localhost. Now see the command host name server 5 host name -i IP address. Okay, and I also showed you how to check the host name using hostname CTL command. It gives more information like this. See server 5. Previously it was showing localhost.local domain. Now it is showing server 5. This is the host name set. Everything working. IP address is set to statically to 74,155 series. And these are not publicly routable IP addresses. 190 to 168 series are in class C internal IP address router, internal IP address only, not public IP addresses. So architecture, okay. Now we said host name, how we said how to enable the network and all the things, and host name to IP address mapping in host file. Okay. Now we did these things. How to enable the network. This all I made a detailed information is how to set those IP address and all those things. Okay. How to set the host name to IP address mapping. This I'll just copy it to that location so that you will have some idea. See, this is the second note I have made. First host name is set. Second one, now the host name is set. See here, this is how to set the host name and check the host name. The command to check is host name command. Command to check is host name CTL command. Okay. After that, now I am showing you how to set. I am showing you this is what I'm showing you how to set IP addresses, how to enable your network. See here, next step will be second network. How to enable our network, where to edit, what to do. Okay, how to set that. The third thing is after setting the enabling the network, third is how to give a host name to IP address mapping. This is the thing. This is the thing how to set host name to IP address mapping. See. This is the 3 steps you have to follow. These are the 3 steps you have to follow to set your server. Now we have installed the operating system and we even set the host name. We even enable the IP address, means we enable the network with a static IP address and gateway and DNS, all the things. Okay, done. Third is we have actually set up the host name to IP address mapping in this host file. Very important to do it. Okay. 3 things. Now the system is up and running. Now the system can be used for deployment. Okay, further deployment of any application or what is the purpose of your deployment, that you can do now. Any doubts you can just raise it. Okay. Okay. Now we have said these things. Now the system is up and running. So I will show you few things. See, what is the explanation? See. So there are 2 modes. I told you we are actually logging into, this is a GUI mode. You can see everything is in GUI. Okay, but there are one more thing. See here. So see here, what is these things I wanted to paste. In CentOS Linux server, if you are booting in GUI mode, okay, you can boot the CentOS 7 server in 2 modes. See here. First mode is CLI mode, command, CUI mode or command user interface or command line interface. Second is GUI mode. But I showed you how to boot your Linux server in GUI mode. Currently, this is your working in GUI mode. Okay, GUI mode. Then, in order the GUI to work for you, there are 2 desktop environments available here. For see here, for working of the GUI mode, you need to require the help of desktop, graphical desktop. In Linux, there are 2 kinds of default GUI based desktops. 2 default GUI based desktops. First is called a GNOME desktop. Second is called a KDE desktop. Okay, what is the meaning of a GUI desktop? GNOME desktop stands for GNU Network Object Model Environment. What is the meaning or the full form of a KDE desktop? Is K desktop. These are the graphical desktops available. See, this is what you have logged in. This is a GUI based. What is the thing? It is a GNOME desktop. Okay. How to actually change to a different desktop? See, suppose you are actually moving into graphical mode. This is a GNOME desktop. How to actually boot my system into KDE desktop? See here. Log off the system, because you have to log out to actually change the desktop and just logging out. This is by default, this environment which you are seeing is a GNOME desktop. How to switch from this desktop to KDE desktop? First log out. And whenever you are logging in, you can actually change the desktop environment. I'll show you that. See here, I am again logging into root user. I am again logging into root user. After you press the username and press enter, there is one option enabled here. See here, a star or circle operation tire kind of thing is there. You have to click on it with the mouse or your any accessing device. There you can actually see different desktop environments available. I told you there are two kinds of desktops here. Explanation of different desktops. First, in GUI mode, there are two desktops available. One is Genome desktop. First thing which I am highlighting here, this is a Genome desktop. And second one is KDE desktop. Okay. By default, when you are booting the operating system, it will be set to Genome Classic, which we have logged in. Now, instead of Genome Classic, if you want to actually switch over to KDE Plasma Workspace, this is a different kind of desktop. Just click on it. Now it is selected. See, the dot has come. Now it is going to boot into, now you are going to log in into KDE desktop. Same root user, same password, but different desktop environment. The feel and effect of the desktop will change here. See here, previously it was different, like Genome was different, KDE is different. Depending on your requirement or your ease of using, you can select different desktops. Believe you are getting, Amarnath, you are getting, this is the second kind of desktop.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
This
sir.
is the
Yes, sir.
second kind of desktop environment. Like in Windows also, you will have other third-party software, desktop loader, this will be there. This is also Linux format of secondary desktop. Okay, if you are not comfortable with the GUI in first desktop, Genome desktop, you can switch over to this KDE desktop. See here, the shortcut, these lock screen, leave, little different. See here, if you want to actually do it, applications are shown like this, computer name is shown like this. Okay, recently used, leave, and you can see in our server file.durgadov.com, and it is showing me KDE desktop. See, so this way. Okay, any of the desktop you can, if you are working in your own system, in your own laptop, in real time, this won't be there. But whenever you are doing in your desktop, you are working in GUI mode, then you can select between Genome and KDE. And one more thing, if you have, doesn't mean that you have to work between these two only. There are multiple other desktop environments freely available. You have to install it in your server, then you can work with other desktop environments apart from Genome and KDE. Remember, I'll show you this later how to deploy those kind of desktops otherwise which are not freely available here later. So again I'm logging off. I showed you what is the KDE desktop looks like. I'm just logging off and logging into Genome desktop, Genome Classic again. Okay. Now I have set up my host name. I will set up my IP address and I made a host name to IP address mapping in HOSTC host file. And I showed you what are the different GUI desktops available in a server operating system CentOS 7. Default comes with Genome, which stands for GNU Network Object Model. Okay, and first is GNU Network Object Model environment, which stands for Genome. Second desktop environment is called KDE desktop or K desktop environment full name. Okay, now I am going to again log into thing, but I want to switch over to Genome desktop only. See here, again I want to go to Genome Classic, which is the default thing selected. I am going to that. Now I have selected that. Now I am actually logging. So now we have seen different desktop environments. Okay, we have seen this different desktop environment. Okay, now we will also see. What are the different tools if it is a server environment. If it is you are thinking this is a server environment. Okay, if you are thinking this is a server environment, what are the different tools available? What are the different tools available to log into the system from remotely? Okay, you have to see that also, na, different tools. Not always that your desktop or server is installed in your system. You are sitting locally in front of it. No, server may be deployed in hundreds and thousands of kilometers somewhere unknown location. Okay, That time we have to deploy it, but you wanted to install or configure this stuff, you need to connect locally or remotely. What are the different options available for us to connect to the same server environment deployment remotely? That is what I'm going to show you now. How to connect different server environment. Okay, see, these are the tools which can be used to connect to a Linux server. Okay, see here, Control V. You see the topic I have copy pasted. Tools to connect to Linux server. Okay, there are two kinds of tools: GUI based tools, CUI based tools. Okay, most of the time CUI based connections only will be given. First tool name Excel. Second tool name Putty, which is also CUI based. Third is Telnet. Fourth is a graphical, which is Xwin Logon. Okay, I am having Excel application in my system. Okay, see here. Now I am going to have how to connect. Think this is my server. This is somewhere in some remote location. Some remote location I don't know, but I am only given username, IP address, and password. What is the host name? What is the IP address? This is my IP address. Host name -I. This is the IP address. 194.168.74.155. Okay. Now see remotely. Think this is a remote system. Somewhere I am connecting to the system. This is one of the tool available to connect. Okay. File new like this. Some session. Okay. Any session name you can give. Rajesh. Okay. Some session. Okay. Now in the host name we have to give here IP address 192.168.74.155. Okay, what is the type of connection? SSH. There are many connections here. SSH is there, Telnet is there, remote login or R login is there, FTP connection is there, secure FTP is there. Okay, we are actually using SSH, which stands for secure shell. This is the type of remote connection, and the port number used by this service is 22. Okay, after pressing, just give the IP address, just give the port number, select the correct port number and press connect. See, it is asking SSH warning, it is showing me, it is saying that this is the key you want to accept once. It is asking, now it is asking what is the username you want to connect, root. Okay, now it is asking password for that admin or root. So just click OK. See, now we have installed. See, host name has come. Now it has connected. See, you can see root@server5. Now check host name is correct or not. Everything is correct. See, host name -I, everything is working. So remotely you will be connecting like this, which will be connecting from remote location to the server. After you are connecting in CUI mode, now you are going to deploy your applications remotely only, sitting on some other system in Windows or any other place. From remote place, you are going to connect to the server and then things. No, suppose if you want to check if you want to check IP address for this system like this, you can check. See, the IP address is set 74.155 like this. Okay. How to, after this you are done, you can disconnect. Just press exit, you are logged out. Okay. Dilip, Amarnath, you are getting what I'm saying? Vasu, hello Vasu, you can unmute and speak. Vasu. Dilip, tell me.
Sir, I'm getting, sir.
You're getting, na? See, I deployed the operating system. I have set the host name. I have enabled the IP address and all the things. But scenario will be like that, means in real time you will not be sitting just in front of the server and you are actually connecting. You will be in some remote location. System will be in some remote location. You will be given only IP address and a tool to connect. From there you have to connect and configure the server. Okay, this is how. I am showing you the simple example how to configure the server from remotely, how to connect and configure. Got it, Vasu? New to this class?
I can hear. Yeah, I can hear. Yes. Yes,
hello,
you're right.
Okay. Any knowledge about Linux administration, man? Previous knowledge about Linux administration?
Yes, I do have a little bit of knowledge.
Okay, you are able to understand what I'm actually showing it here?
Yes, I can
Showing
understand.
here?
I can understand.
Okay, got it. Then it is fine. Okay, if you are understanding, then it is okay. You can follow. Okay. Now I
Yeah.
showed you how to. Now I showed you how to. What are the tools available? These are the tools available for us to. These are the different tools available. There are many other tools also. I am showing only CUI based login because I am only having CUI based tools. I don't have WinXLogon and other tools to show you how to connect to GUI based, but it will be also same thing. Enable the tool, install the tool, click on it. It will ask for IP address and port name and other services. Just give it. You can log in graphically. Okay. Now we have seen how to deploy operating system. We have installed the operating system. We have seen how to connect to the operating system in CUI mode, CUI mode remotely from different remote location. I even showed you yesterday what are the different file system hierarchy and what is the purpose of each and every directory and what file it contains. Yesterday I showed you file system hierarchy totally. So today I showed you after deploying operating system, what are the different GUI environments are there like Genome Desktop and KDE Desktop. Okay. Now we will see what are the different kind of users available in Linux. This is the last part of the thing. We will see what are the different kind of users available by default in Linux operating system. See here. You can actually classify different kind of users available in Linux operating system into 3 type of users. Okay, we can classify it like this. We can
Hi Rajesh. Actually, this second class or third class?
This is my third class, man. This is also a demo session. This is my third class. Demo
it's a
session
demo.
only, third demo session.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, Vasu.
Yeah.
Okay, we can classify users in 3 ways. Okay, first user is a first type of user, one which I am showing here. One, admin or root user. What is the meaning of admin or a root user? It is the user which comes by default. An administrator by installing the operating system itself. A user by the name root is always created in any Linux operating system, whether it is any Linux operating system, any version, any type of any flavor. By default, admin is the user. Root is called the admin. Admin is actually by the name root. Okay. What is the purpose? What is the privileges he gets? He has got all the privileges to the Linux server. He can do anything. He can create users. He can take backup. He can install application. He can block, lock, unlock user. Okay, everything is done by admin only. Okay, and how the admin is identified? What is the identified location? How to identify it is the admin login or the normal login? As you can see here, hash whenever you are login. See here, whenever you are login, just a second. See here, whenever you are logging into thing, if you see at the terminal, at the command prompt, if you see the hash symbol, by default only, then only you can get to know you are in admin login. See here, who am I is the command to check who is the user. Root is the admin, and how to identify a root login is just seeing here. Root is a name, serverify is the host name, and hash, which is the command prompt. Hash means always whenever it replaces as a hash, that means it is an admin login. You are an admin. Suppose I am actually changing to normal user, switch user. SU means switch user. It is a command to switch to from one user to another. Whenever I am switching to the normal user, Rajesh is a normal user, you can see the change in the admin prompt. Okay, Rajesh G it is. So whenever you see, whenever I log in into normal user, the admin prompt is changed to dollar symbol here. Previously it was hash. Admin normal user I log in, you see dollar. Okay, that is what I'm showing here. First thing, admin is the first user or the root user. And what is the user ID of the admin? What is the by default UID? User ID. This is the ID which is used by the operating system to identify a user. This is the root or this is just a name. In order to identify, it uses user ID, and by default root get always the user ID 0. No other person can get the user ID 0. Okay, now we saw first user. Second classification is here. There is a second type of user called system user. What is the purpose of user, this system user? Users, the system user is the one which are created when different applications are installed by the admin or root. Okay, if you are installing FTP service, if you are using HTTP service, which is the Apache web server in Linux, a user by the name Apache is created. These fellows are all for application maintenance, not for normal user working. These for application maintenance. Okay, if you are installing mail server, then a mail account is created. Mail user account is created. Example which I shown here, mail. If you are using this system, you have configured this system to work as a FTP server. A FTP user, system user is created. If you are working, deploying this system to work as a HTTP server, a system user by the name Apache is created. And how do you identify using user ID? Whether it is a system user, normal user, or admin. System users admin UIDs range from 1 to 999. Okay. System user UIDs range from 1 to 999. Okay. Third type of user. See here, third classification of user is this thing. Normal user. These are the normal users of client logins working on a Linux server. They don't have many privileges. They have very limited privileges. These are the original persons or the clients who actually work on the Linux operating system. Whether they are doing some project, whether they are doing some other thing. Normal user accounts are created by admin user or root user. And all the admin user logins are identified using $ symbol in their command prompt. If you see $ symbol in their command prompt, then it is a admin normal user. If you see a hash symbol in the command prompt like this, then it is a admin user by default. So, and one more thing, which user ID? UIDs are assigned to admin users. Admin users are always created with the UID ranging from 1000 to 60,000. Maximum 60,000 users who can create here. But starting UID assigned to any normal user account created is 1000 and later only. Below 1000 it is 999 and below it is all for system user. 0 is for root or admin. Vasu, you are getting what I'm saying? You have idea because of the things? Vasu? Unmute and speak, man. Vasu.
Hello.
Vasu, you have idea about this admin user, system user, normal user?
Yeah, actually, I know about admin and user, but I'm not very known at system user.
System user. You don't know what is a system user. You know admin user, you can use normal user. That is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I will show you how to. Okay. And so Vasu, there is one more user. Vasu, here, see here, there is one more user. A normal user, but with more privileges. That is called as a pseudo user. You know this? What is a pseudo user? You may have heard about the pseudo.
Yeah, I can
Do
hear
you know it? There isn't one more last type of user. Though the classification is 3 types, but the fourth classification can be called as a pseudo user. What is the pseudo user? What is the meaning of the pseudo? Pseudo stands for super user do. Okay, super user do. These fellows are the normal users only, but with little extra privileges than the normal user. And these privileges are assigned by root. Okay, there are 4 types of users: admin user, system users, normal users, and special normal user, which is called as pseudo user. What is the difference between the normal user and the pseudo user is pseudo users have extra privileges. These extra privileges, like I am able to access some kind of command which are only done by root user, but normal user cannot be used to execute those commands. But if the root user assigns some privileges in the format of sudo to a normal user, he becomes a pseudo user. Difference between a normal user and a pseudo user is he is able to have access to some other privileged commands which only run by admin. Okay. So now you got to understand what are the different users available. I will show you practically how these users are there here. See. So I am in my root login. In order to clear the screen, suppose you type anything, you are going to clear the screen. Shortcut to clear the terminal screen is Control L. It clears the screen. Okay, Control L is the shortcut to clear the screen. Okay. Now we will see what are the different
Also
users
work, right?
where they are located.
CL, yeah.
Vasu, tell me, Vasu.
Clear also work, right? Clear.
What? Clear
Clear.
will work. Shortcut I saw it. Display. See, something is there. CLEAR, it will work. But shortcut I am saying Control L. Instead of typing anything, just shortcut Control L. Okay.
Okay. No, yeah, I just want to know clear is working or not.
Yes, it will work. It will work. See here, I am making some changes. Now I am typing clear. But in order to type the clear, it takes keyboard strokes. So without giving keyboard stroke, then also you want to clear it in one go. Control L is the shortcut key. Okay. See. Now we want to see where these users are created. Just for time being, I'm just showing this where these users and what are the user ID, UID supplied to this field. Password is the file. VIM is a command. This is a text editor command like Notepad in Windows. VIM here. VIM stands for Visual Improved. Visual Improved. VI stands for Visual Improved. This is a editor. This is a text to screen editor, text editor in Linux operating system. Equivalent to Notepad or WordPad in Windows. Whenever I want to open a file, regular file or any file, text file, I need some editor to open. VIM is the editor here. Okay, it is a screen editor, text editor in Linux. When I give enter, you can see here I am also setting line number. You can see the first user created. This is the file which maintains all the users existent in this server. Okay, see here when I am actually selecting the first line, you can see here root is shown and it is shown 0 0. This is 0 0. What is the 0? User ID, group ID. Root is the admin. It is always assigned a user ID of 0. Now you can see user ID of 1 here, which is in the name of bin. This is daemon, which is the user ID 2. Here it is user ID 2, group ID, user ID. These people, apart from the 0, 1 which is showing till 999, which is showing here 1999, if a user is sorted like this. These are all the users. Above these users, see here, all the users above this with a user ID less than 1000 means 999, 1 to 999. Here it is 16. Here it is 89. Here it is 26. Here it is 70. It is 386. These users which are created by the operating system, these are called Vasu. These are called system users or application users. These are created by the operating system itself whenever the application is installed. Okay, see here one of the specific user Tomcat which I'm highlighting with a user ID of 53. It is showing group ID 53. This is the Tomcat user who is going to maintain Apache Tomcat web server which is installed on Linux. That application is going to be managed not by the root user or admin but the Tomcat. Okay, these are the system users. And the last comes here 1000, which is starting with 1000. See here, these are the users which are normally the client user, not application, not system. Rajesh Ji is the first client user which I have installed in the operating system during the installation of the OS itself. I gave it. Okay, got it, man. Dilip, I want to a question. Amarnath, you got this? What is the difference? How to check which are system users? How to check which are normal user? How to check which are admin user? Amarnath,
Sir.
got it?
Yes,
I told
sir.
you different types of users available in Linux operating system. Okay, 3
Yes.
configurations or 3 classifications. Admin user or root. Second is system user. Third is normal user. Now I showed you how to check where the normal user is there, where the system user is there, what is the client user is there. Okay, Amarnath, is it okay? Any doubt?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
No, na? Now we will see Don't worry, these all will come in user administration. When I take the user administration class, user and group administration, I will show all these things perfectly manually also. For time being, just remember how to identify different types of users. If a user ID is 0, then it is a root user or admin. If the user ID is from 1 to 999, these users are system or application oriented users created by operating system to manage the specific application. Suppose a HTTP server, you get a HTTP user, Apache user. If you are installing FTP service, you get a FTP user. If you are using DNS, we'll get some username, name of bind, some other thing named. So this is how we get to understand. I'm just closing this. So now we have seen different users. We have seen how to set up our operating system, how to set up our host name, okay, how to enable our network, okay, how to set host name to IP address mapping. This is the host name IP address, where to set, everything we have seen. So now we will start with the small commands, okay, small commands, how to actually use the small commands and all. These are the things, see here. Now we will start with small simple utilities or command, okay. First command, how to check the host name of the system. Okay, host name of the system can be checked using host name command. How to check what the host name and IP address of the command, what system IP, what is the IP address to host name, mapping of the system, host name -i. Host name is the command, -i is the option. Okay, there is one more command to check the host name and all the details, host name CTL. It gives not just the host name, other details also. This is the thing. It is showing me the static host name which is set. It is showing what the operating system from where installed. It is showing me the kernel and it is version and architecture, all the things. What is my kernel? Linux 3.10 kernel. What is the type of kernel? x86 64-bit. Okay, what is the type of the Linux operating system? EL7, Enterprise Linux 7. What is the architecture? x86 64, which is 64-bit. These are the things. Okay, now we will see how to check who is logged in into system. How to check who is logged into. I logged into system in graphical mode using root as a user and Rajesh as a password. So when I am checking who am I is the command to check the current logged in user. Who has logged in, means login name of this current user who is working here, root or admin. Okay, you can also give like this, who am space I, then also it gives, okay, root user, it is giving additional information. What is this PTS? This is the terminal. What is the terminal? This is the terminal which I opened, which is a TTY command to check the type of terminal which is opened. This is the thing which I'm highlighting. This is the terminal. Okay, root has been logged into system and currently working on this terminal. See here, this is the terminal. And what is the thing? 15/4/2047. When did the root log in into the system? He has logged in at 15/4, 15th April 2021, and he has logged in at time 2047. Which 8:47 this fellow has logged in into the system. Okay, these are the information. Who am I as seen? We are also having who command, which gives more information, just like the same thing. Okay, who is the command to check other details. Next, who-a, more details about the operating users. Who-a, more details of the users who have logged in. Apart from that, when the system has booted at 2010 or 2010 means 810. On which date? 15/4/2021. It has come into booted into run level 5. Run level 5 is a graphical boot. What is the meaning of run level 5? Is a graphical boot, because now we are booted. When did it boot into graphical mode? 2011, which means 811. When we started our class 811, we booted into this run level. Okay, what is this? This fellow has connected from 3 places. 2047 he has logged in. PTS1 there was working 2032, like this. Okay, now we have seen few commands. We can see one more command, who-a, w command. W command also gives many information about the user. Okay, here it is showing root is logged in into the system. TTY:0 is the system. At what time? Login at 2044. He has logged out and logged in the terminal 2044 in the graphical. Okay. Second, it is showing the same root user is logged in into this terminal. What are the type of terminal? TTY is the command. See, PTS 0. At what time? 2047. And this fellow is idle from the past 4 seconds. So this is how you get the information. This is also one more command. What is the last command? Which is also 1 minute. Log name. This is also command. Log names is a command who will tell you what is the information given by this command is who is the login, because when you logged into the system you gave username and password. That time who has logged in into system, it will be given as root. Who has logged into system is like root. Okay, su-rajesh g is the one of the user. See, when I am switching to Rajesh G, this fellow is not an admin normal user. When the normal user login is there, instead of hash, we are going to see dollar symbol. And the name of the user is also there here, Rajesh G. As you can see here, if I press the same log name command, instead of Rajesh G, it shows me. First, I'll show you who am I. Am I? Who is logged into system? Rajesh G. But when I give the same command as log name, it is showing me root. Then what is the difference between this who am I and Rajesh log name? Log name is the command which shows using which username and password, which user account, using which user account, like admin account, who has logged in into the system during the system login. Who am I is the current user who is working. This is Rajesh G, current user. I switched from root to Rajesh G. Who am I showed the current user. Log name shows what is the login user who has logged in into system when the system booted. That is the name of the log name. Okay, that is the difference between normal user, who am I, and log name. I am exiting. If you want to come back to the same login, just give exit. You will again be coming into from Rajesh G login to root login. So now we saw different commands. Who command we saw, who am I command we saw, who hyphen a saw. We saw hostname command. Okay, hostname CTL command we have seen. Vasu, you're getting, man, what I'm saying, all the things. Any information you want? Anything extra you want?
I'm clear.
You're clear, na? Any doubts? Anything you want to raise?
No, I have no doubts right now.
Okay. So we have seen few of the commands. So these are the commands which are made. There are many commands are available. There are hundreds and thousands of commands, really, honestly, in the things. We will be seeing few of the things. So now we will start with few of the things like we have seen host name, we have seen hostname hyphen hi, we have seen log name, we have seen who am I, we have seen who command, we have seen w command. We can also see last command and users. Okay, I'll show you last. What is the purpose of last command is it will show the see who am I and all the commands will show current users, current who is logged in or current who has been working. Log name also shows the same thing. What about the person who has logged 2 days back? You want to get the information about the users who have logged in into system from the past 1 week or past 1 month. Okay, then we have to keep the last command. It will show these things. The last command it is showing see yesterday who has logged in, because this server was installed yesterday only. Yesterday 2143 the server was installed yesterday. See here, reboot, system boot, reboot, it is showing system boot. This is where the system was installed. Okay, system boot it is showing because we have installed this server yesterday. Okay, then second time it was rebooted yesterday 15th April, means today at what time? 7:50 I booted into this operating system. Later in 7:52 it was again down, again this was shut down and again booted at 2010, which is 8:10 p.m. today 15th. See here, this information means the server who has connected when the system has shut down, when the system has rebooted, how many people has connected during that time. See here, from today's date 2018 today 2010 8:10, these many people have actually logged in into system these many times. See, this is where the current system is working. Okay, what is the last command? It will show all the login, system start and shutdown and reboot details from the past 1 week or past 1 month. These details are saved in the last command. Okay. So there is one more command, users. Okay, this is also one of the command. So I will show you difference between this log name and everything here. See, this is a graphical boot we have done. Okay, but in Linux, I told you there will be virtual console. This is the graphical console we are working, which is equivalent to Control Alt F1. I am just writing here. There are 6 virtual consoles in Linux. Where consoles in Linux? First console, Control Alt F1 plus F1. If you are currently working, this is actually the GUI console. So this is the console which are working, Control Alt F1. And apart from that, there are 5 non-graphical consoles, Control Alt F1, F2. This is the second console, second non-GUI, CLI console. Similarly, okay, the third console like this, CTRL, Control Alt F3. This is the third console like this. 2 CTRL plus Alt plus F6. These are all from F2 to F6. All are CLI consoles, virtual console, CLI console. Okay, I will show you these things, but how to actually go into this. Currently, see here. Currently, I am here, which is a graphical console. Okay, now I want to just actually log in as a client from virtual console. Control Alt F2 I am pressing. See, now I have actually switched over to second console. In Windows, this is not possible. In Windows, you can't get these consoles and call nothing. In Linux and other Unix operating system, only possible. It is asking for login. What is the login? I am going to log in as a normal user, which is Rajesh G. And pressing enter, it is asking your password. If you give the password correctly, you will be logged in. See, now I have logged into the virtual console, virtual second console, Control Alt F2. Apart from this, you can also log in as different users from other consoles, like pressing Control Alt F3, Control Alt F4, Control Alt F5, Control Alt F6. Now see the log name. Now it is showing as Rajesh G. Last time it was showing in there, it was showing as root. Who am I? It is showing Rajesh G. Host name command. It is showing host name -i. It is showing. Okay. Users command. See, users command. Last time it was in the graphical console. It was only showing root. Now it started to show Rajesh G also. Okay. These are the different commands to check what are the users logged in, what are the details of the operating system. And one more command, I am now switching to Control Alt F1, GUI console. Press F1, Control Alt F1 from here, it will take to a GUI console. Sorry, I made some mistake. Sorry, wait. Control Alt F1, see, GUI console. Okay. Now we got to understand how to check who has logged in into system, like last command, user command, users command, W command, who command, and other things. Now we will see system details, how to get which system I am working, what is my kernel, uname is my command to check the system details. Uname -a means all, option A means all. It gives the total system information. As you can see here, uname -a is giving total system information. It is showing the type of operating system is Linux. What is the host name? Fully qualified domain name is Durga server by Durga. It is even showing me what is the architecture of the kernel. Kernel is 3.10 kernel architecture. It is SMP, symmetric multiprocessing. SMP stands for symmetric multiprocessing. It is a type of CPU architecture. Symmetric multiplexing is a type of CPU hardware architecture. Apart from that, UTC 2020, it is showing me x86, which is a 64-bit operating system. Okay. Now we have seen these are the different things. Okay. we have seen who hyphen a, we have seen man command. Okay, uname command gives just what the thing. Complete system information is given using uname command about the processor, everything. Okay, what is the type of operating system? Also, we can be checking like this: cat/etc. What is the ECC? CentOS release. This is the one of the thing file where it stores what is the operating system. We are using CentOS Linux server. What is the server operating? Major version is 7, minor version is 8, 2003 is the build. Okay, CentOS operating system. What is the server operating system you are using? You go into a real-time environment. You need to ask. Don't need to ask any other person which operating system I am working, because not all operating systems have the same thing. So in order to do this, you have to give this command uname -a and cat etc CentOS release will give you the operating system, kernel, and other details. Okay, now we will see a date command. Okay, what is the date? How to check what is the current date? Date. Okay, this is the thing. Suppose there is one more thing I wanted to show you. I am opening one more terminal so that I want to show you other thing. See, you know what is the date command? Just there are many options possible to date option. Date command means date. See like this: plus percentile A, plus percentile B, plus percentile C. There are many options which can be passed to date command like this. Okay, but it is not possible that you can remember all the options or at all the time. In order to get the help, these for the date command, you know date is available, but you won't remember what are the different options possible to the date command. There are many options. You can actually get the help for these things using man command. Man command will give, man stands for manual pages or manual pages where you can refer for help regarding any command. Man date will give all the options. See here. Man command stands for manual or manual pages which gives help. This is the online help available for each and every command, and it is the total or the complete information you can get for the command. Okay, you don't find this in internet also, this much of information, that much amount of command. You can see we can actually get many things as here. See, what is the purpose of this command? Print or set the system date and time. It can print the current system date and time, or using the same command you can set a new date and time to the system using the same date command. Okay, what is the syntax of this? Syntax is date option format. Date option format. This is how you actually use this command. How to use this command? Date option format. Here you can see mandatory arguments are long options. So here see UTC help. These are the different command options. If you give percentage A, locale abbreviated, weekday it is giving. Okay, if you give percentage capital A, it will give the same weekday in full format instead of a sun which is given in lot like that. If you want to give percentage B, it shows me month date, month name. What is the month name? January is the month, like that. Now current month is this. See here, we will show some date command, date plus percentile small a. What you are getting? Thursday. If I give the same thing with capital A, it will give instead of THU, Thursday it will give full name. Okay. Percentage C. What I am getting? Full date and time in full format. Thursday, 15 April 2021. Current date and time in IST format. PM 9:24 PM. If you give the same with capital C, it will show 20, which is 20 stands for these things. Okay. There are many other things. D, if you give like this, D capital D, this thing, full date and time. Now it is going to show the date and time in 4/15/4/21. Small e, small capital E. Okay. How to use the date command? I showed you. How do you connect to the date command? You showed you. How to get the help regarding the date command? If you forget the option, this is how you will do. There are many options. You can read about this. Percentage, hours, minutes, seconds. I'll show you one option. I am going to show percentile hours, minutes, percentile seconds. It is 20/25. Hours is 21 hours. Minutes is 25. Seconds is 12. Now you got. Now next command. We just saw few of the command. Next command is calendar command, which stands for cal. If you give cal without any option, it will show the calendar of the current year, current month. What is the calendar of the current month? It is April and year is 2021. What if I want to get the calendar details? What if I want to get the calendar details? Okay, say in the calendar detail for month 03 means the previous month 2021 for the year 2021. This is how you actually give the option. It is showing me that month 03 stands for March and 2021 is the year. This is the calendar. What if I want to get the calendar for entire year, like 2020 if I want to give calendar 2020. It is showing me all the details of the from each month from January, February to December. Dilip, Amarnath, any doubts, sir? Dilip, are you getting? Am I fast?
No, sir. No, sir. Yeah. No, sir.
You're
No.
getting what I'm
It's
doing?
fine.
If you're getting, na? Amarnath, what is
Yeah.
it? What about you?
Yes, sir.
Amarnath?
Getting, sir. No,
Okay, Vasu?
no doubt, sir. Yes, sir.
Vasu?
Yes, I'm getting.
Okay. So now it is as good as 9:30, 9:26. So we can't go forward because already 1.5 hours has passed out. So today we have seen this calendar command, few of the commands. Tomorrow I'll repeat these same commands and extra commands also with all the options. So today we'll end the class here. Okay, Amarnath, Vasu, today we'll end the class here. Tomorrow we'll take the next topic. These are the commands will continue tomorrow because commands are more than. I just give you a brush up of the command how they are there. Tomorrow we want to see the same command detailedly with all the options, what are the required options, how to check and all the things. Again repetition will be there. Okay. And tomorrow we
Sure.
will see even the file creation commands, renaming commands, and how to create commands, file creation, directory creation, removing. These all things will be. Okay, Vasu, shall I end the class now? Any doubts?
Yeah, please. I have no doubt.
Sir, it would be helpful if we provide videos.
What, Dilip? Dilip, what you're saying?
Yes. Videos and materials, sir. Like it would be helpful for practicing, right?
Yeah, but these are not distributable materials, man. These I can show you here. You have to make, you will get the videos. You can actually, using that video, you can make your own notes actually. Because without the permission of the institute, I can't share anything. So using the videos and all will be shared to you. You can actually make your own note. And apart from that, I also give you how to actually use, if you don't understand a command, how to take the help like this. Man command name. Or there is one more thing, info also is a command, info date. This is also one of the terms you can use, which will also show you the same thing with other details also. See. Okay. So maybe I have to ask the people before that I can't share it. So you can use the videos only to actually make your own notes. Okay. No, if it is not possible, later I will show you. Okay. Amarnath, I'm ending the class today. Tomorrow same time, you're going to join the same class. Vasu, you are going to come tomorrow? You're going to join tomorrow?
And I have one
Oh.
more question actually. That is relating to not technical, and that was
What is it?
how are we going to move this, like how can I expect from scripting side? Actually, I want to more getting knowledge from scripting.
Scripting with shell
in
scripting,
this
you're
class,
saying.
how we can get more knowledge on scripting?
Vasu, this is a Linux administration. Okay.
Yeah.
Here, this class is only specifically actually designed for Linux administration. If you want to learn scripting and all, you have to go for shell scripting class, which is actually a different class. That is a different course actually we take it. In Durgasoft, this will be helpful, but without knowledge of administration, you can't do scripting. That is one. Vasu, unmute and speak. Vasu,
Okay. Yeah. Sorry,
thing is
I was
that
in yeah.
I will tell you. First, you have to, in order to understand scripting like it is just like a C programming language. There are other things which are not in C also, but without administration, knowing all the details of this administration, at least the system administration or standalone administration. See here, what is our course is this like this. Vasu, see here. I just wanted to show you. This is our DurgaSoft course administration. Vasu.
Okay.
So we have actually designed this administration course. We have divided into 3 levels. First level is basic, which I am actually teaching you, which will come with installation, command, creator, moving, renaming command, links, filter commands, file and directory permission, user creation, group creation, how do I actually create normal user. After that, Linux's second option is Linux system standalone administration. Standalone means configuring a single system, not a server system. How to configure your single systems to work. It can be disk management, boot process, run levels, group, user management, other things like access control list. How do I use package management software like MRPM, rail level, swap, process management, backups, job automation, scheduling job. These are called system administration topics. The third will come network administration. These are the topics for the Linux network administration. So without knowing basics of Linux and apart from system administration, which is standalone administration, you can't learn shell scripting. Because in shell scripting also you are going to do using it. First you finish off this system administration and network administration topics totally, then jump to shell scripting course, which I am also taking, that is also I am taking here, shell scripting. But this administration course which I am teaching, this one which you are attending, is purely administration. We are not going to touch. We will see what is share of the few of the things, but not totally shell scripting. Then you have to actually switch over. After learning this, you have to switch over to shell scripting, which is called in DurgaSoft Linux Unix shell script with shell scripting. There you will be taught all the shell scripting basics to fundamentals to advanced level. Also got it?
Yeah, got it.
That is the difference. This is purely administration. This is not mixed with shell scripting. But if you are insisting that you want some shell scripting thing, I can take in the end of this course. But
Okay.
but if you want to totally learn shell scripting, before shell scripting, first to do this standalone on network administration, then jump to shell scripting. Then only you will be able to understand the shell scripting better. Okay. Without this knowledge, don't go there. Because there also you are going to use most of the thing with programming, some kind of scripting. You are going to use these commands and settings only.
Okay.
Awesome. So this class is for this. After that, if you are insistent, I will be in the end of the session or end of the course, I will give you shell scripting basics also.
Okay.
But that won't be total. If you want to learn the total thing, I take the shell scripting separately. But for that shell scripting also, you need to have the knowledge about Linux administration.
Okay, got it.
Okay, you're coming.
Yeah.
You are going to join tomorrow.
Yeah, I will. But I'm also, there is one more issue with from my side. Actually, 8 to 9 it was very difficult time to.
What man? I didn't get you. Be clear again.
No, 8 to 9 it was a busy time for me. Actually, that was a busy schedule. So so like how I proceed, I don't know. Like I can get a recorded video or sometimes
yes, one thing you can do.
I feel like I can join the class.
See, you can join the class lately. One thing is that is dependent on you. What if you want to join the class lately, it's fine for me. And one more thing, anyway, all the video sessions which have been recorded here of the classes will be shared to you once you pay the fee. Seeing that also you can, because you already have. You just told me that you already have little idea. So understanding using the same video sessions, if you see that understanding also, you get the same thing. So which is I'm going to repeat. And anyway, if you see the video, you find that something topic is not valid or you have some doubt. Next day you can raise, sir, this time of the video I have seen, this is the point I didn't understand. I'll show you again. Doubts will be cleared anyway.
Okay, sure.
That way you can see, because our timing is really fixed. It is from I had to take. This is not my time. This is my system time given by the institute people to me to train. So I can't shift now for your basic first thing. I can't shift from 7 to 8 or like that, because it is given and it is already fixed. Because most of the people like Amarnath and Dilip who are actually attending this class are already paid the fee. So I can't actually shift the timing. So one thing is that you can join late. Otherwise, if you join late also, there is no problem. I will take the class. At the same time, everyday videos will be shared to you. If already, because you have an idea, you can just browse the things, brush up the things from there. If you have any doubt, you can raise at the end of the class, then I will take that again.
Okay.
And without administration, without the system administration and basics of the command and other things, don't jump to shell scripting. Because first basics, you have some knowledge and you have brushed up with the Linux. You are actually free with the Linux. You are able to do all the things like command, this, that, what is the purpose, how to do, how to check the command option, how to apply those things. Then shell scripting is just simple. But if without this, you are going to jump to shell scripting, you may get lot of confusion. Because there you are going to see the command at the same time implementing scripts, then there is confusion. There can be many options, errors will come. But because you are not used to Linux operating system, then going to shell scripting directly, then a lot of confusion can come. Alright.
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
So I will take, in case first to finish up this course of shell scripting Linux administration. If you are insistent, at the end of the course, I will take the shell scripting classes, also few of the classes, for you to make you understand what is the purpose and what are the different options for 2-3 classes. Then you get to understand, then you can jump to the shell scripting. You can actually buy your own textbook, then also you can refer. Otherwise, if it is better that if you are actually able to pay, then you can actually go for shell scripting, my class, where I go purely with shell scripting. Apart from that, the topics and administration which are used in shell scripting, there also it will be repeated. So
Yeah.
2 times it will
One
be
more
revision for
question
you.
is, do you have any weekend batches on the same topic?
Actually, I have to ask, man, because I am not started any weekend batches. I am
Okay.
actually ready to take few of the weekend batches, actually, to be honest. So I
Yeah.
have to inform the institute guys. But weekend batches only. Is it okay if I start the weekend batches from May 1st? Weekend batches from May 1st.
From May. Okay.
Is it okay that you are actually urgent that you have to start today only or this weekend? Because I was thinking I want to start at May, because I have other things to finish up, because I have to finish this course and other things are also there. So because I have to finish this thing. So is it okay?
Yeah, I am fine.
Okay, then we will see. In May 1st, I wanted to start that weekend batches also. I still not informed my Durgasoft Institute people, but I am thinking. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Vasu, any doubt? Any more doubts you can raise?
And one more thing, actually,
Continue.
you also covering a shell scripting in other batch, or just only covering the Linux admin part?
This Linux administration, purely what is this course content which I am showing, that will be covered. Shell scripting will be covered separately. That is a different batch.
Yeah, that thing also covered by you or some other people?
Yes, I cover. I take shell
You cover,
scripting,
okay.
I give Linux administration, both I do. Both I do.
Okay.
Okay, that batches will be different. Okay, that also I'm going to start in May itself. Actually.
Okay.
Okay, then Vasu, any other doubt you can ask.
No, I don't have any questions.
Vasu, where are you from, Vasu?
I'm from Hyderabad only.
Telugu, okay.
Yeah, Telugu.
Okay. Where exactly in Hyderabad?
From Mayapur.
Yeah, okay. I stay in Navalpur. Okay. Okay, man. Vasu, see you. We'll
Yeah,
meet
see you,
soon.
Rajesh. And thanks for answering my questions patiently. Yeah.
Why?
Thanks.
What is there, man? I'm here to answer, man. What is the purpose of my purpose is actually to give you information. Okay, Amarnath and Dilip, you're ending the session today, and we are going to start tomorrow. Tomorrow we will start with again the command, same command again, brush up. And tomorrow we want to see depth of the commands, not just the open command with many different options, important command with different important options, which are usually used in administration as well as shell scripting. Those will be covered tomorrow. Okay. See you then. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.